You are listening to the Fever Report with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon every Sunday on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Welcome back, Fever fans, to the Central Indiana Sports Report for our first Fever Report in a while with John Robertson and Michelle Garmon. But the season, if it happens, is right around the corner. So John Robertson, Michelle Garmon are here to talk about all of it.
So I don't know about y'all, but first of all, I hope we have a season. But let's go with assuming we have a season. I'm hype. The other day they released the schedule, and we've got 22 home games and 22 away games supposedly, and I'm ready for Fever basketball. I'm ready for all the excite. I'm ready for Caitlin. She's back. She's healthy. I'm ready. I'm ready to stop hearing about Unrivaled, and I'm ready to see good Indiana Fever basketball. So that's my opening remarks, I guess. I'm just pumped, guys.
We should mention that John is in Atlanta with his daughter at a Pacers game. John just made the trip through the weather, so he's in a basketball mood right now.
I am. I'm very much in a basketball mood. I'm pumped from that. I don't want to go too Pacers-y, but happy about that win over Oklahoma City. And now we're hoping to get a win in Atlanta. But I don't want to seem like braggarty or anything, but my Fever season tickets came in. So when they hit my Ticketmaster account the other day, it just got me super hype. So I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel, but I will say the first thing I think the first real discussion point is I'm excited that we're opening against Dallas instead of Chicago. I think the WNBA is no longer trying to push this Chicago Indiana rivalry. I think we're going with Paige versus Caitlin as the new thing. And I think that's a much better rivalry to try and promote because they actually play the same position.
I agree, John. And you're talking about, the back-to-back college players of the year. Caitlin her senior year, and then the year after Paige. Both young rising stars, and both are bring fans in on their own. I mean, I don't think anybody is at the level as Caitlin is bringing attention to the game, but Paige is. She's got her own. She's got a pretty good fan following too. Um, it's great. I agree with you. I'd rather much see that the WNBA push that as opposed to the Indiana Chicago thing. I do have to ask you, John, did you get pretty good seats?
So I think they're good. I think they're great, but everybody has a different taste. I like balcony row one. I like the first row in the balcony because the first two rows of the balcony at Gamebridge are kind of their own little section within a section, and there's nobody in front of you. So we're right at the midcourt line. We're balcony row one opposite the Fever bitch, and that's kind of my dream scenario. And if I'm not going to get courtside seats, when we had Pacers season tickets back in 2012, 13, 14, that we had the same type of thing, only we were in the corner. And I like balcony row one, so I like those. And they're good value. If I wanted to get lower bowl, it was going to be like 8,000 a seat, and I didn't particularly, or maybe it was 8,000 total, but I didn't particularly want to spend that much.
I get that. Well, I have a question for you. I have not really seen anything. Have you seen anything kind of what they're looking at for the new CBA? Are they imposing any kind of important dates that they need to reach to keep the season from being in jeopardy?
So, no, but I do have thoughts on that. I feel like we can go in depth on the CBA stuff if you want on who we think should give and all that, but I don't think the WNBA releases the schedule and does all the promotion if they don't feel like they're at least close. Now, I know that I've complained about WNBA front office multiple times, and I've said they're stupid, and I do think that they have lots of room to be smarter at times. But I just don't see them spending all the millions that it takes for promotion and getting stuff out and getting everything ready and all that if they don't think they're at least going to get it done. I did talk to my ticket rep before I bought my season tickets and said, what happens if, if the season gets canceled or doesn't happen? And they assured me it's all refundable. So he didn't let it slip if he knew anything or not. I guess there is still a chance things start to fall. but I think they're going to make something happen.
So obviously, who are you? I guess I should say this. Who are you, other than I know Caitlin's going to be back and it's going to be exciting to see. And of course, we know your favorite is Lexi Hall. So,
Lexi Hall.
so what are you looking for from the Fever if they're 100 at 100% healthy this year? What do you kind of lineup rotations? What do you
Well, I
think
mean,
we'll see?
it's a difficult question because, like, once we get the CBA done, we still have to get through the free agency period before the season starts. So we don't even really know who's going to be on the roster, right? Like, we know Caitlin will be there. We know Aaliyah Boston will be there, and we know Kelsey Mitchell will be on the team. Those are three. We're pretty. I mean, Kelsey still has to sign a deal, but like all signs on her socials and things she's been saying, pretty much lead to she's going to sign as soon as the CBA is done.
I
But then once that happens, we got to see who else lands where.
I get the impression from as much as I've seen Sophie Cunningham on Fever Media and Pacers Media that they expect her to be back too.
I think that she will be back. I think she knows it's too valuable and too profitable to not be with the Fever. I think she knows that just being Caitlin adjacent is worth money. So I think that Sophie is smart enough to stay because of that. But I do think Sophie's said she's not opposed to going elsewhere if the deal is correct.
It's going to be interesting too because they still have to do some kind of, don't they, free agent or expansion draft for.
Oh yeah, Toronto's in this year, and so is Portland because their date's scheduled for a Toronto and a Portland game in Indianapolis. So yeah, that I forgot all about that, to be honest with you. Ugh, we could lose Lexi to Portland. I could see that happening because she's from the Pacific Northwest, so that would make me really, really sad. Thanks, Michelle. I was having a good day, and you just went and ruined it.
I'm sorry, but you don't think
You,
the Fever would protect Lexi?
I don't think she. Well, how many can they protect? I haven't looked
They
into
used
that.
to
How
be
many
able to
can they
protect
protect? I
6.
legitimately. All right,
They
well, let's think
know
about it.
they're going to have to build.
They're going to protect Caitlin. They're going to protect Kelsey. They're going to protect Aaliyah. So then who's next? Sophie is maybe, depending on if they can even get the deal done.
5 players, by the way. 5 players.
5.
Five? Okay. Okay. So I can't be unbiased. If you ask me, we protect Lexi. I think Lexi is too valuable. But does Coach White think Lexi's too valuable? I don't know. She's probably the best sixth man because she didn't really start that often. Um, with last season being the way it was, it's hard to know who they really value too, because the rotations were just weird with everybody gone.
I know. I
I think
hope.
Aries going to get picked up by somebody.
I'm wondering. I doubt that they protect Howard just because of. I know she's a veteran, but I think that's why I'm
Yeah,
not so
I
sure I
think
would protect her
that's
because of
fair.
her age. I think I'd rather have youth.
Yeah, because you're only going to get a year or two left out of Howard probably. And I do like her. I don't want to sound like I don't want her, but I would, if I was the GM, I probably wouldn't have her in my protected 5. I don't know. Once you get outside of Caitlin, Aaliyah, and Kelsey, I think anybody is kind of in the mix. I don't. Okay, I love Ari, but I don't think she'll get protected, and I do think she'll get picked up by somebody because she played way too well last year.
Right.
Kelsey, Caitlin, Aaliyah, Hull, Cunningham, those maybe the 5?
Yeah, Sydney Colson was the one I was trying to think of, but I don't think that she gets protected. Bree Hall's not going to get protected. Shea Petty's not. Ariel Powers not. And they all played great last year. Like, don't take it the wrong way. They played great, but they're not going to get protected.
No.
I don't think they protect Tim. They don't protect Timpson, even though I think she's a future all-star if she gets a little confidence. Chloe Bibby's not good. Okay, so there you go. So here it is. It's Aaliyah, Caitlin, Kelsey, Sophie, and Lexi, and then we keep the Trace Leches together, and we're good.
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Well, and the women's college basketball game just keeps getting better and better. So these draft classes are a little bit deeper than what they were 5 to 10 years ago.
Well, and that too. We also have the WNBA draft that's going to happen before the season starts. So
We're going to have a lot to talk about on future Fever reports.
Yeah, like I'm sorry if I don't have a ton really other than like I'm hype about the season. Like I'm super pumped about the season. I was going to go over the matchups that I'm excited for, but without knowing the full roster, it's a little hard to be too detailed. But the Dallas matchup is going to be awesome. I always love when New York comes to town because I want to see Caitlin and Sabrina play. KC loves Sabrina.
By the way, Fever have the 10th pick in the draft.
Yeah, I don't think is the draft that deep that that the 10th pick is going to be exciting. I don't know that it is.
I think it's deeper, and like I said, it's deeper than it was a few years ago. It really is. I keep an eye on, even if I don't necessarily watch a lot, I follow along. I read a lot. I check out the scores and the games and of a lot of women's
Well, that's
college
why I trust you
basketball.
when it comes to the college stuff. I have to trust you because I don't barely follow men's college basketball until it's tournament time. So I definitely don't follow women's either.
ESPN.com's WNBA mock draft has the Fever taking Medina Okot from South Carolina, 6'6" center. Also some prospects, Gabriela Jaquez from UCLA, of course, her brother is an NBA player. Ayana Martin Carrion from Spain, UCLA's Kiki Rice, Janiyah Barker from Tennessee. So some pretty good prospects.
I'd rather have the first UCLA girl you mentioned because she's a tough-nosed defense. She would fit in with this group, and you would like her, John, because she plays defense a lot like Lexi does. So that would give us a guard.
My favorite.
And tenacious, and she can hit the shot when she needs to. She just impresses me because she gets overlooked a lot, but I think when it comes to toughness, she may be the toughest, or at least she was at the end of last season when I was watching. She was I thought she was the toughest Bruin on the floor. So I don't include Lauren Betts in that because when you're 6'7" and very strong.
I'm just that's my kind of basketball, defense and like good assists. So whoever we need to get that's what I like.
Okay, that's why I think the Vaquez would be a good fit, just because I think her work ethic and tenacity on the defensive end is good. I think she's probably coachable. I think Stephanie would like to work with that, and the better the more good defensive players we can put on the floor, that helps, because as good as Caitlin is, and her defense improved some last year, I just don't ever see her being that defensive, so it's kind of nice that to have other pieces that you can put on the floor, because I think Caitlin's best defense is off the ball, where she can read the floor and read the situation. So the more type of players like Lexi, Sophie, and this Vaquez you have, I think, and we know Boston's a good defensive player in the middle, I think the better off the Fever are.
All right, guys. Well, this is our first of many Fever reports going forward every Sunday on the Central Indiana Sports Report. Of course, as things change, we're now transitioning from football to basketball, so we might move days around it sometimes. But for now, while there's still some football going on, we're going to keep the Fever report on Sundays. And if there's any big news, we will talk to John and Michelle about it. If there's any draft news, if there's any WNBA bargaining news, if there's anything like that, we will bring that to you. John, Michelle, before we go today, I just want to know, are we kind of going into this season thinking championship or bust? Is that where we are?
I want at least WNBA finals.
I don't think it's necessarily championship or bust. I will agree with John, though. I think the finals has got to be the goal. They got so close last year with all the injuries they had, but I think a healthy Caitlin and with Aaliyah and with what we have, I just think that the finals is, I think it's it. I think that's what I'm sure that for the group, they are going to say championship season or bust in some ways, but this group needs to make the finals.
John, thank you so much for joining us while you're on the road. Michelle, love having you as always. Appreciate it. We will talk to everyone again next Sunday unless we have breaking news, and then we will hear from John and Michelle earlier than that. But every week going forward on the Fever Report, please join us. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much to John and Michelle. John had been quite busy, and we hadn't been able to put together many Fever Reports in the off season, but here we are going forward every Sunday, so please join us. And please do us a huge favor, share this podcast with a Fever fan in your life. Help us spread the word that the Central Indiana Sports Report is talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. How often, Producer Susie?
Every single day.
Every single day. Thanks again. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love you, Susie.